Ahoy there, and welcome back to another One Piece manga chapter review. Today we have chapter 1140, and it's just simply titled Scopper Gyaban. So obviously this will be picking up where things left off in the last chapter, with Luffy challenging Scopper for the key to free Loki. So this is going to be very interesting to see exactly how and why Scopper is testing Luffy. Probably to see if Luffy is the one who is succeeding Gold Roger. So that's probably going to be his ultimate goal, and seeing if Luffy perhaps is strong enough to handle Loki, since he intends on letting Loki loose. Okay, we've got our cover story. It's Ulti tied to a dartboard kind of wheel, and apparently they've been throwing swords at her. Okay, so that's what happened to Ulti. Where's page one? And why? Well, I guess the Tobiropo, they were enemies anyway. They never really liked each other. They only united under Kaido because Kaido is the most powerful. So it would make sense that without Kaido around as a controlling force, the Tobiropo would turn on each other. So that makes sense. So, Only Child Yamato on the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage on 26. I'll beat the hell out of you if you lay a finger on paytime. So, okay, page one is there somewhere. So perhaps Ulti surrendered herself? Or they both got captured at the same time and they just have them separated? Because only Ulti is here on this, tied up on this wheel. So they probably have something else, probably have some other device that page one is tied to. So I guess what's probably going to end up happening is Yamato is going to end up freeing Ulti and page one, and they might join forces. Which I suppose makes sense. Author comment pending. No comment from Oda. At least the translators don't have the comment quite yet, so I guess they'll add that eventually. I did see it was something about Pokemon Go on Twitter, so that's probably the author comment and why they didn't put so much priority on it. Since they have not really a deadline, but an urge to get the chapter out as soon as possible. Okay, first page. The Pirate King's left hand in the flesh. Why would we fight you over the key, old timer? Just give it here. Then we have Road. Sir, what are you doing? What, you don't think you can take it? Why, you... Luffy. So Luffy leaps out of Road's hands towards Gyaban. Now we have a flashback to Colin. Did you know my father's a human too? He used to be a pirate, and he didn't fear anyone, not even the warriors of Elbaf. And Zoro is thinking, remembering that. And Luffy extends his arm, reaching for Scopper. Scopper instantly sidesteps it, so is that observation haki, or just he's really fast? Either way, he completely dodged Luffy's attempt to grab him. Oh yeah, that's observation haki. Luffy starts multi-firing his arms trying to grab Scopper. Not quite a full-on Gatling attack, but very similar. He's just reaching back and forth multiple times, and Scopper is easily dodging. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Grr. Come on, old man. The sooner we get back to Loki, the sooner we can get back to the feast. Then hurry and take it. Luffy finally lands on the platform near Scopper. Just watch me. And then Scopper leaps up into the air, swing the key overhead again. Well, Luffy reaches for Scopper. Scopper leaps up into the air, dodging the attack from Luffy. and he's flying up towards Luffy, over Luffy. He's swinging the key over his head like it's a club, and he's using his armament hockey to coat the key. So now the key has black hockey over it, and lightning bolts coming off. So is that Conqueror's hockey? It's probably just armament, because I don't think Scopper would have Conquerors, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. But anyway, Scopper leaps over Luffy with a hockeyed up key about to swing down on him. Luffy looks up, hockey, notices it. Oof! Makes a big swing with the key, smashing the platform and completely destroying it. Sir, yeah. No way, Luffy. So he did manage to hit Luffy with it, smash him into the ground. Road and Nami are both shot. Luffy pops up out of the ground looking angry. Rah! Nice straw hat you've got there. It suits you better than that helmet, don't you think? Duh, that's my treasure. I'm holding on to it for shakes. Now hand over the key. Now Luffy is again doing the reaching out, Gatling attack again. Scopper's still dodging very easily, holding on to it. He didn't just give it to you? What a cheapskate. You got it wrong, dummy, and don't call him that. You don't know the first thing about him. Luffy's really getting mad. Ha ha ha. Bleh. And Scopper shoves the key into Luffy's mouth in a comedic way. And now Luffy's head is taking on the shape of the top of the key, and he's getting thrown back. You've got a mouth on you, brat. Luffy goes crashing into the ground with the key. Huh? Axes. And Zoro looks on. He sees that Scopper pulls out his axes. So now Scopper is being serious. He's grabbed his axes. Grim Throng. Zoro cries out, Luffy, dodge! And Scopper is going in for an attack with his axes. Zoro leaps into the way with his swords to block the attack. Rumble. A part of the castle falls off from the rumbling and shaking. Scopper thinks he's got a fine crew. And Zoro's still blocking. Nami and Road are looking on in shock. Let's go, Zoro. Luffy in Gear 5th leaps up from behind Zoro. Right. So it looks like both Luffy and Zoro are going to attack Scopper at the same time. Scopper sees Luffy in the Gear 5th. Ah, this is that white form I heard about. The castle is still crumbling more from their battle. Brace yourself. I give up. Scopper drops both his axes and raises his hands. He gives up. Huh? Stop jerking us around, Gramps, says Zoro. Yeah, haha, don't get worked up. I was just fooling around. You tried to kill me. You think we'll just laugh it off, says Luffy. You're still alive, aren't you? Anyway, take the key. Anyway, the key you're after is right behind you. Oh. Luffy Tasso, everyone, this guy is... Don't be hasty, Rodo. Elbaf, if Elbaf is still safe by the time you decide to leave, come find me. So now Scopper is putting back on his hat, and he's picked up his cloak, so it looks like he's leaving now. Why would I? I never want to see you again, says Luffy. That's right, moron. Thanks for the key. But there's no way we're going to seek you out anytime soon. And as Scopper is walking away, he's remembering speaking to Shanks. Honestly, Shanks, you really think I trust him that easily? Ha 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 ha, fair enough. Do as you please, Gyaban. Miss, looky out there. So we're back to the owl library. Huh? What's all the hubbub? It's a birdie. All that excitement over a bird? It's a really weird one. Huh? Where is it? The realm of the sun. Okay, and the kids are pointing up to the bandage bird that Gunko and Shamrock are flying on. So they're flying above the owl library, or they're heading directly towards the owl library. So they previously said they were going to take the kids hostage, I believe. So that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to attack the library here. There's a school here. How perfect. I'll summon them. Very well. And Gunko creates the summoning circle. Gunko creates the summoning circle. Well, okay. So this confirms the summoning circles are not summoned exclusively by the Gorosei. So now we've got that confirmed. It's not exclusively the Gorosei that create the summoning circles. A. So B, how is it that these people that are not Gorosei can use the summoning circles? There's still the question of if the Gorosei innately have the power to create the summoning circles and they can grant that power to regular people. If that's the case, then it would be easy to say that Garling granted some of the God Knights the power to use summoning circles since he became a Gorosei. That's one explanation. The other explanation is that there's some other means that the world government at this level has to create these summoning circles. And the power is not innate to the Gorosei at all. The other option is that the summoning circle power could be innate to Eam, and Eam is granting it to others, but if Eam is granting the power to God's Knights, it might as well be the Gorosei that have the power. But either way, it confirms that the power is not exclusive to Gorosei, so every time you see a summoning circle, that doesn't mean that it is the Gorosei necessarily using it. In this case, we have Gunko summoning. So the summoning circle's been created. We've got the black lightning surrounding it, and then a huge black lightning bolt striking from the sky. Boom, crackle. Two figures. Two shadowy silhouetted figures. Understood. No, I don't mind going. Just tell me where we're leaving from. The abyss will be where now? Just tell me where we're leaving from. The abyss will be where now? Nah, it's fine. We'll have some time before, right? You know, to get dressed and stuff. Can't I at least have an hour? Also, what is the current situation? We're talking about the provisions. What else? It won't do for us gods to starve, right? Hello? What's with this thing? Is it the telepathic signal? So, from what I'm understanding, what's going on here? Two silhouetted figures from the summoning circle. then we go back to, we've gone back to Merijois, it seems. And we've got someone talking on a transponder snail. So is this the silhouetted figure talking through the transponder snail into the summoning circle? Or are the two figures in the summoning circle two different characters? Either way, this guy talking, he's sitting casually in a big chair. He looks like a pretty big dude. He's casually dressed. He's in his underwear and wearing just a cape. He's got white hair and a beard, wearing glasses. God's Knight, House Shepherd, Saint Summers. So Saint Summers of the House Shepherd is one of the Gorosei, or God's Knights. Then we've got another one over here, falling over. He's lanky and he has the head of a dragon. Looks like yeah. Like a humanoid Chinese dragon. Actually, wait just a second. So, okay. Humanoid looking Chinese dragon from the looks of things, because yes, definitely a Chinese dragon. But what we see about this character that's really interesting is he has the cloud cape like Luffy in Gear 5th and Lucci in his awakened form. So that immediately indicates that this is an awakened devil fruit user with a dragon type devil fruit. Another dragon type devil fruit, and he's in his hybrid form, so he's got the head of a dragon, long neck, head of a Chinese dragon, and then he has a regular human body. So he's in his awakened form. He's in his awakened hybrid form, basically. It's a zone, an awakened zone, because he's got that billowing white cape. He's got the celestial dragon bubble on his head. He's got a long pike with a jagged trident sort of bladed weapon on the end of it. I'm gonna be late. I won't make it. I was half asleep. Where are we going again? It looks like he's falling over, about to trip. God's Knight, House Limosive. House Limosive, Saint Quillingham. Saint Quillingham. So Saint Summer, Saint Quillingham of the House Limosive. Okay, and now in the next panel we do see that the two figures have been summoned. So they were summoned directly. I guess they were in the middle of something, both of them. But they were summoned directly to the area, so they're right there. Gunko. Gunko? What are you doing in my manor? Huh? Shamrock's here too. What? We're in Elbath? So they're surprised that they got summoned. So they were both in the middle of something when they were summoned. This also confirms that it's not necessarily voluntarily that someone can be teleported by the summoning circle. So they don't have to volunteer to be summoned. If they are summoned, they get pulled from wherever they are to where the summoning circle is. The summoning circle bought my couch too? Big surprise. And St. Summers is getting dressed, putting on his pants. So this is a land of giants, huh? Everything's huge. We got St. Quillingham. I have to remember that. Quillingham. St. Quillingham looking around. I only wanted one person. Why are there two? It's because you're meant to go home, Captain. I am? It's an order from above. So that's what it is. I suppose the situation in Holy Land has gotten dire recently. Everything started to spiral downhill after the reverie started. It'd be best for you to hurry back there, Shamrock. Anyway, why don't you brief us on the current mission? What are we doing in a non-member nation like this? Were you visiting Harold's grave or something? Alright, I get it. And now we have Saint Summers fully dressed up, looking very God Knight-like. So we just need to nab those brats and take them back to the Holy Land. Although I guess these particular kids are a bit too big to just stuff in a bag or something. And those without the mark can't pass through the abyss. That means we'll have to spirit them away by ship. Ingrate. With our powers combined, we could make a game out of this. What kind of plan is he concocting? Chapter 140 end. So Shamrock says we could make a game out of this. A game similar to the Human Hunt? Is that what they're thinking about? Also, in the last bit of dialogue, we have a confirmation. Those without the mark can't pass through the abyss. So the abyss is the summoning circle. And apparently you need to be marked. You need to have a special mark to be able to pass through the abyss. So it's probably all the God Knights that are marked so they can pass through the abyss. The Gorosei are marked so they can pass through the abyss and use it. So the Gorosei, the God Knights, Eam is probably marked, or maybe Eam is the originator of the mark. And the summoning circle power is specifically called the abyss, so they travel through an abyss. That brings up the question of what this abyss is like. Like, what's it like between being summoned and arriving at the destination? What is this abyss? So we've got a nice chapter here. Kind of as expected, we were just testing out. Gyaban was just testing out Luffy, seeing what he's all about. He's decently strong. Luffy wasn't really being super duper serious during the fight, so it's hard to make a solid scaling argument about Gyaban, but he is really strong. He obviously forced Luffy to go all the way into Gear 5th to take him on seriously. So interesting for that. And this isn't the end of Gyaban. He's probably going to show up again at the end of the arc and probably drop some more information about Roger's crew and maybe a little bit more about the One Piece. Maybe not the One Piece treasure itself, but perhaps more about the conditions surrounding the One Piece, I'm thinking. Or would he know the location of the final poneglyph? I suppose that could be a possibility, but either way, Gyaban is coming back into the story at the end of the arc, judging from the way this has been set up. We've got the God's Knights coming in to kidnap the children. Shamrock is supposed to go back to the Holy Land, but he doesn't go immediately. At the end of the chapter, he's talking about making a game out of this, making sport of hunting down the giant children. So the question is, will he remain? If Shamrock remains in Elbaf, he might end up running into Luffy. Does Luffy at this point need to learn about Shanks's family? It feels like no, not really. So maybe Shamrock is going to leave over the next few chapters. Maybe he'll leave at the start of the next chapter after setting up the game. Because this is an order from above, as St. Quingliam mentions. As St. Quingliam mentions, so it's got to be from Garling, or the Goyrosei, or perhaps Eam. So he probably returned to the Holy Land. Which means Gunko, Quingliam, and St. Summers are going to be the main Gorosei forces we see operating as antagonists in Elbaf, unless Gunko returns with. Only Shamrock was summoned back, but would Gunko go back with him? Either way, it's going to be either 2 or 3 Gods and Knights, not including Shamrock here, operating on Elbaf as antagonists. Then there's Loki, who might be an antagonist too. Then we've got a little bit more information. One of the Gods and Knights suggests that Shamrock might... Were you visiting King Harold's grave or something? That line seems to suggest that there were good relations between Shamrock and King Harold, which kind of makes sense because King Harold wanted Elbaf to join the rest of the world. If that was his goal, then of course he would want to negotiate with and eventually partner with the world government. So he would meet with, perhaps, and negotiate with members of the world government. So the question is was King Harold like an Otahime kind of figure, wanting to, for good intentioned reasons, wanting to open up the world, or like Odin wanting to open up Wano? Is it one of those situations where we have a benevolent ruler trying to do what's best for their people by opening them up to the rest of the world? Or is this the case of a malevolent figure who is wanting to get in good with the world government so that he can increase his status as a king? But it doesn't seem like that's the case, because no one in Elbaf has so far mentioned anything about Harold being a bad guy. There's nothing to suggest that Harold was a bad person. So it seems like it's another Otohime / Odin sort of situation, where Harold's intentions in negotiating with the world government and perhaps being friends with God Knights is entirely good. So, and of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that the world government themselves have purely good intentions for wanting Wano, or not Wano, Elbaf, because, as we've explained in the early chapters, they want access to the most powerful race on the planet. They want the power of the giants, so They could pretend to be nice to Harold for the sake of getting access to Elbaf, getting Elbaf into the world government, ultimately making Elbaf submit to the world government, and then they have all the power and resources of Elbaf at their command as part of the world government, which is their ultimate goal. So then that ties back to the whole Loki thing. Why did Loki kill King Harold? Did Loki kill King Harold? If he did, why? If he didn't, who did? And the who did question is probably going to end up being the world government. Because who else would have an interest in killing the king of Elbaf? Someone that wanted to destabilize Elbaf so that Elbaf would be easier to take over, and that would be the world government in that situation. Or it would be Loki if Loki felt that Harold was misguided in his attempts to get Elbaf to join the rest of the world. In trying to stop his father, he killed him. So those are two possible options. But a very good chapter. Things are heating up in Elbaf. Good to see. Scopper has given Luffy a bit of a test. He's indicated that he's going to be back at the end, which is good because we've seen so little of Scopper. And obviously Scopper is going to be an important character, so it's good that we kind of get the setup that he's going to come back and give us more information. I don't think he's going to be involved in a fight or anything like that. He's probably going to be a lot like Rayleigh, except he won't have to save the Straw Hats at this point, I don't believe. Not even from the Gods Knights, even though we haven't had much of a chance to gauge their strength. I don't think these guys are going to be that strong. I mean, they'll be strong enough to be a challenge, but nothing like fighting like a Kaido or a Big Mom. Nothing like that. So the real question mark is going to be Loki. How strong is Loki, and whose side Loki is ultimately going to end up being on? I feel like if it's a case of the world government, the Gods Knights invading Elbaf, maybe Loki will end up on the side of defending Elbaf. That's a big maybe. But either way, things are going to be getting a lot more exciting over the next few chapters, which is good to see. Luffy and the others have effectively got the key, so they can go free Loki probably immediately. Then things will really get heating up. So with that, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next chapter. Stay cool.